Completing this air ride installation on a Victory cross country, and wanted to let you know on the bottom of the swing arm here, when everything is removed, there will be bearings that sit in there. There are two spacers on each side of the bearing that sit inside of this, and this will be on each side of the swing arm. So you'll remove the spacers, and this bearing is seated in there. You're going to need to knock that out on each side. What works well for us is just a 3/4 socket. Fits in there real nice, and you can tap each side out. I already have these out from this side, and then you can even go all the way through onto the other side and tap that bearing out as well. Those will need to be out before you complete the installation of the shock. Now we're prepared to put in the shock. We've got our top mount of the shock. We've got it tight. We're prepared to go ahead and place this in to the bike, into the subframe. So we do just double checking. We've got this all the way to the clockwise position, and that will go forward on the motorcycle as we're doing this here. So I'm going to step to the other side and we'll show you kind of where this goes in here. So on the right side of the motorcycle, we're going to slide this in from over here on the right side, and we've got the bike jacked up as high as it will go, and you can tell that again by the tire will spin, so the swing arm is down all the way, so that gives us clearance. And it is not necessary to have the fender removed to do the installation. We have this one because we're going to be doing some airline running afterwards and so on, but it is not necessary to have it removed. But as you can see, it fits in here pretty easily through this gap right here, and then we're going to push this down in. Also, again, on the shock, we've pushed this bag down so it has exposed this collar. That'll assist in the process when we're doing that. The bushings are still in here, and we're ready to go. So we're going to slide that down in, and we're going to push this setup down inside of the hole inside of the swing arm. If you rotate the upper mount slightly, this will assist in installation, and we'll be able to push. We're going to push, and this is a difficult task to push this down. You're really going to have to push on this to compress the bag and compress the shock, because of the fluid dampening and the rebound it's going to add pressure to it. So it's going to be tough, but an extra hand could be used if you had another person there to help you compress it. So we're going to push down on the shock, and then we're going to slide this up. We're going to slide it in and then up onto the back side of the subframe assembly. All right, we've got that in there. Now we're going to rotate our upper shock mount back to where the hole is facing to the rear of the motorcycle. And what this will do, it'll allow us to put a bolt in our bushing through the hole here. And I'm going to grab another shock mount here just for a second, and I'm going to show you the groove in that and the purpose for that. Okay, I've got an additional shock mount here just so I can kind of give a brief overview of why this has the cutout in there and so on and so forth. So if you look at this point here where this groove is, on the back side, if you reach up inside of there, you'll be able to feel why this is notched out. There's a groove inside of the subframe assembly that's part of the casting of the subframe, and that will actually seat inside here, so that'll keep the shock from moving back and forth. It'll actually seat in there for you, and then we'll look through the hole, and we'll be able to see that our threaded portion is exposed through the hole. So at this point in time, we're ready to install our upper shock mount and our bushing. Again, we've got this aluminum bushing here, and that will actually seat with the flat side facing up into that. Okay, and then we're going to use our gold bolt here that we talked about before that doesn't have a nut. We're going to apply some Loctite to that, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so we're going to take our shock assembly, move it around here. And I can feel that notch is in place there, and I'm ready to install my bushing and my bolt. Okay, we got our top bolt, our retaining bolt in place. Again, that was the shortest gold bolt, the one that was in the picture earlier in the video volume 1 that you could have seen when I explained all the different sizes and so on and so forth. So now we're ready to put on our lower shock bracket, this bracket here, and we have our second longest bolt with nut that will go in place of that. So we're just sliding that up in there like so. This is doesn't matter which side, both sides are the same, so it doesn't matter which direction that goes. Bolt in and nut. Again, you already have your bearings removed from the swing arm. We'll go ahead and tighten this down. Then we'll be ready for our pin. That's good and tight there. Now this next step we got going on is you're going to need something to pry up on this bracket with so we can line up the holes. It would be very difficult to do this by hand and push up by yourself. It can be done. You can see that I'm able to move it some. Two people obviously will help, but we're going to do a little different method. We're going to block it up a little bit here, and then we're going to lower it down on the stand so we can use both our hands here.